common mistake. It's a very common mistake on LinkedIn, and it can be common anywhere, which is lack of clarity. A lot of people write, for example, one thing in the hook, and then it goes another way in the body. And then sometimes the CTA is different than what the body may say. Like everything should be tied together. Like it should all work as a chain. So if one piece of the chain is weaker, low quality, then it can break the chain into two parts, and then it's very hard to connect both of these both pieces of the chain.
Hi guys, I'm Eamon and I'm back with another episode of Mindful Marketing. And today we have Sami with us, who makes content writing easier for everyone with the use of AI. And he also has a very cool newsletter, which is known as Savvy Snack, that I also follow. And today we have a very interesting topic to talk about, that is how to create high converting copies on social media. So all over to you, Sami. Can you tell me that how does copywriting differ for different types of social media platforms?
So first of all, there's a difference between writing and like this common writing where people write as ghostwriters and copywriting. So ghostwriting or simply just writing social media is for the purpose of just building your brand, like some impact maybe, or any other purpose other than simply selling. Then copywriting comes where you need something to sell. For example, it can be, especially in marketing, in ads, in sales pages, where your exact purpose and your only purpose is selling. It can be a product, it can be a service. Then when it comes to social media, writing on social media is different than the common writing where it was in books or I would say newsletters, for example, emails. Social media is way a place where like the attention span is very quick. People lose attention very fast because they are like flooded by millions, if not millions, hundreds of thousands of ads. This can be videos, can be text. So that makes it very competitive, especially in social media. But still, the better the persuasion and the better the convincing and the influence comes in a copywriting or in a copy, the better it is to serve its purpose. And also, some people take it wrong. Copywriting shouldn't be to impress. If you impress someone and he claps and he says that, oh wow, this was good writing, you're not, you didn't make a point. You make a point or you succeed when you make the reader say that, oh, I need this, I have to pay for this, or I have to act on this, or I have to click on this, like whatever you want the reader to do. So that's where copywriting comes, in a difference with the main writing.
That's right. So how important do you think is psychology and emotional intelligence when it comes to writing and making a copy very impactful as well?
Psychology works in content overall, not only copy. It can be in writing, in videos, in visuals, in anything. It works in anything because humans are driven by psychology, and psychology is what triggers human action or human response. Any type of content which lacks psychology will be very hard to make its point. And when it comes to copywriting mainly focuses on being clear. That's the standard, that's the backbone of copywriting. You have to be clear in your copywriting. Your reader should understand what you are saying, or they should get the idea of what you are conveying. And then when it comes to psychology, it's just simply letting people know that this thing can help them, this thing can change their lives. Or for example, if you have a service, if you have a product, you just have to like make it clear and let them know that this can change their life. This can help them, reach their certain goal that they have. And also, psychology also plays a big role in making the reader think about what you are saying or imagine what you are saying. For example, if you are writing about a service that you are providing. It can be, for example, social media service. Then you are using these certain kind of words that make the reader imagine where they can be. For example, you tell them that become financially free and earn, for example, $5,000, which is very common. Everyone uses this kind of tactics these days. They work because they give the reader a picture of being somewhere. And there are a lot of ways that you can psychology and copywriting. And this is just one of them.
Yeah, that's right. So, what's your go-to formula for creating a copy that converts?
Um, of course, writing a hook, or it can be a headline, something that catches the attention of the reader. It shouldn't be in a way that people or we should abuse it. No, if you abuse a copy or any kind of content with its hook, then that's going to be not only a flop, but a long-term harm to your brand and to what you do. Like people don't buy from people who hurt them
Yeah,
or who they mistrust. So if you break your trust, then that's going to be a problem. So hook is important, but it should be also very, very it should connect the dots that comes afterwards. So, for example, if you say in your hook that how to make $5,000 per month, then your copy should support every single word or every single sentence that comes in your copy should support your hook and should provide or should keep that promise and present that promise.
yeah,
So hook is, of course, the most important thing. Some people say it takes 3 seconds or you have 3 seconds to catch attention with a hook. I'll say it's even less than 3 seconds because usually, according to my own experience, when we read post content on LinkedIn, it takes like less than 3 seconds for us to decide whether to read them or not. Then there comes the body. So, for example, if you say something in the hook where it's engaging, where it talks about the problem and discusses a solution for a problem which your audience has. So it catches their attention, and then that uh, gets them to click on see more and start reading the body. The body should be all about informing him or her, informing the reader of what the solution is about, how it can help them, uh, how it helps someone else. Like, for example, another customer can be about a testimonial that you got. So you can add all of these things that can convince the reader to say that or to agree with your hook. For example, if you made a promise in your hook. And then when they're done and they believe you and then they trust you after reading your body and they're nurtured and they're all kind of like ready to act because you talked about the problem, you told them about the solution, and now they say, oh yeah, this looks interesting to me. uh, you say $5,000, making $5,000 for 1 month. And then there's all the ways that you explained. You already help someone, like they read the entire body and they're ready, for example, to
yeah.
go to the next step. Then there should be an action for them or CTA to just click on something that can be a link. It can be your newsletter that you want to convert them to become your subscriber to your newsletter. It can be any kind of CTA. So the better, so this all comes step by step. And I just explain just one framework of copywriting, which is PAS, PAS, which is problem, agitation, and action. So uh, this comes step by step when it comes to like just one framework of copywriting. Then there is a lot more how you can use other frameworks and how you can um, provide your offer, how you can work on your offer. But when it comes to getting attention and getting the reader to act, this is how it works.
That's right. So what common mistakes do you see on LinkedIn, especially when it comes to copywriting, that a lot of people are making?
Um, a very common mistake, it's a very common mistake on LinkedIn, and it can be common anywhere, which is lack of clarity. A
Okay.
lot of people write, for example, one thing in the hook, and then it goes another way in the body. And then sometimes the CTA is different than what the body may say. um, like everything should be tied together. Like it should all work as a chain. So if one piece of the chain is weaker, low quality, then it can break the chain into two parts, and then it's very hard to connect both of these both pieces of the chain. So the number one thing for all copywriters, especially for those who are new to copywriting, they should be very clear. They shouldn't think about impressing the reader. Don't even think about impressing the reader. Don't even think about making the reader like your writing. You're not here to write so that you will be liked for your writing. You are here to sell something. So if you are here to sell something, then focus on being clear. Write from whatever, write authentically, write like something which is genuine. Like don't focus on things that you need, for example, a clapping for, or something that can give you like a happiness or an ego feeling situation. So just focus on being clear, and write or provide facts which can help you, or which can make the reader act and move forward, which is a main goal of copywriting.
That's right. So what role do you think that AI plays in content writing? Because we see a lot of people, and you also said it, on one of my posts, that a lot of people use AI comments. But there's also a positive side to AI as well in content writing. So how do you think that AI helps content writing or even copywriting on LinkedIn?
I'd see a lot of change in terms of writing with AI. Like I've been doing this for the last 1 year. Um, I as a copywriter, I don't want copywriting being affected, by some machine or some robot. I don't want that. Like genuinely, I don't want that. But when I saw the power, I saw how AI was doing, like how it was improving like day by day, especially ChatGPT. I would test a certain kind of stuff, and it was possible. And then I was thinking that if it's possible, then probably it's gonna get over a lot of stuff which is in copywriting, and which I saw as an opportunity, to adapt to this technology, to, for example, learn how to do stuff with this technology, and make the process easier. So, for example, ideation, research, brainstorming, drafting, for example, formatting, grammar, and spelling, for example, these kind of stuff. Like right now, they can do this kind of this all of this stuff for you. For example, if you are spending time on reading your email, if it's, for example, a 500 or 1,000 words email, and if you're reading it word by word, just to check for the spelling mistake, you can just give it to ChatGPT and just ask for fixing all the spelling mistakes, nothing else. And it will do it like in a minute. So it will save you, like, for example, half an hour or 1 hour, or depends on how fast you are. Then when it comes to, for example, depth, that's where AI cannot go. So you need more depth in your writing, and that's where most writers fail on LinkedIn too. They write idea about good ideas, but it doesn't work. It's because there is no depth, or sometimes they have depth, but the idea that they come up with is not that useful. It's useless to anyone. No one is trying to read that, or no one is interested in the idea. So first, the idea should be interesting to anyone. Should be based on people's problems. Should be based on a solution that everyone needs, and then the writing should also have a depth. That's something very important. So you can just write some generic stuff and post it on LinkedIn. Of course, it's easy, but things that get more engagement, or things that can convert people, or that can bring you more leads, for example, it's where depth comes from, and that's where a lot of people fail. So it's an opportunity for everyone, writing on LinkedIn, for example, or writing anywhere. Depth comes from going into people's problems, researching them and exploring them, and seeing what they are, and then also exploring the solution and looking for a solution that can be unique, that can be better than anyone else, or maybe than most of the people around you. And then also talking in a way that no one is talking about. Everyone is saying, oh, here are 5 prompts, or here are like 10 templates, or this kind of stuff. Okay, so there are like thousands of people writing these kind of posts, but uh, write something that no one is talking about. Write something that everyone sees and say that, oh, this looks unique. Let's read that. That's where it gets attention and potentially leads as well. So where attention also leads to more clients and leads. So the best thing for especially for people who are new to LinkedIn is to not blend in with the all the generic content and copies or anything. It can be copies, it can be like just writing. Uh, they better focus on what brings more depth to their content and what brings more attention in terms of problem solving, talking about solution where everyone cares about.
That's right. So when you're talking about ideas, so a lot of people they have this concern that they run out of ideas slowly. So is there any specific AI tool or any other way that people can actually find out ideas that others care about specifically?
At this point, I'll say there is no lack of ideas. Like ideas are literally the easiest part, that you can go and search the internet or do some drag
Yep.
and drop or just write a prompt and you will be flooded with ideas. I have a lot of stuff in my newsletter and on my LinkedIn post. Like everyone can check that. Uh, I use Perplexity for a lot of my research and stuff. I also use Quora, which like you can find all those conversations of people, like they're coming asking questions and they're providing their opinions. That's somewhere that you can read about people and see what they think, what they want, what they demand, and what they would like to read about. I also use ChatGPT sometimes for research, especially the deep research feature. Like there are literally tons of tools that you can just go and ask about ideas and ask about conversations that people are having. For example, Perplexity has this certain feature where you can turn on the social feature and ask about the questions or the conversations that people are having or the problems that people are facing that
Yep.
they're talking about. I think it's on Reddit. That's, if someone is asking about something, about a problem that they are having, there are probably 100 others who have the same problem. If you write about that, your post will like hit, for example, 500 eyeballs, and then 500 of them, 50 of them will like it, and they will say that, oh, this is what I need help with. That's, like the finding ideas is not actually hard. It's not hard.
Yep.
It's just, it just needs some action, some movement, and less guesswork. So like guesswork doesn't work, like unless you are Steve Jobs, that you have the best idea that you can come up with like a iPad. But when it comes to content, you have to like go and search for statistics and see what people are talking about, what they're asking about, and what's going on with their lives and how they work or how they do stuff. And you can write about that, and that that will work. That may not work in your first try or second try. It doesn't mean that it's like absolute and 100% virality. No, but the more you focus on people's problems, the more you build trust, and the more you are getting more leads and more eyeballs and everything online.
That's right. So you talked about that a lot of people are making the same type of post. So if you see about a 10, prompts type post, you will see a lot of people writing the same thing again and again. So there's this hype on LinkedIn that's going on around storytelling to differentiate yourself from others. So how important do you think is storytelling when it comes to copywriting?
You can use storytelling in copywriting, because story is one of the easiest type of content that
Yeah,
can convert someone to be your lead or to trust you, because stories make people feel the way you feel. And when you make people feel the way you feel, and when you show them that, then they trust you easier. And that's how stories can do that job. So when it comes to copywriting, like all those top copywriters. For example, Gary Halbert, he's one of the top copywriters, and I've read one of his books, and he focuses more on stories, and that's how it works. That's how it became. The book became one of the best books, one of the best copywriting books. Um, so as I said earlier, so the main point of copywriting is to make the person act or make the reader act on whatever you want. It can be a sale, an offer, or anything. So you can do that easily by a story, because when people read story, they feel like emotionally, they feel something deep down, and they know, like so that emotions they can help you much better, in terms of closing those people or making them act. So that's an opportunity, and you can use that. A lot of people are just posting generic stories, and no one knows if they are true or not. But what I'm talking about is those authentic and genuine stories where they actually happen to you, and you can use them as a way to connect with the reader and make them pay you, for example.
So there are a lot of people who are just starting their LinkedIn journey. So when you're starting and when you're new, even though you have experience, you need to gain the trust of people. So in the start, you cannot write a copy to sell because no one would trust you. So what advice do you have for these new creators which are coming on LinkedIn? How can they actually build authority through their content in the beginning?
The very first thing I'll say is, do not rush for
Yeah.
followers that you lose all the authenticity in your content. It can be in hooks, it can be in making promises that you cannot keep, or it can be in writing in generic kind of stuff, like those fully AI generated, content or posts which are full of emojis and those generic words, like that literally kills the trust. It's not, why would you try to like push yourself backwards when you can, push yourself forward? So the first thing is to focus on being authentic, and even if the hook doesn't mean to lie. A lot of people lie in the hooks, like especially newbies. Like people don't know, they think that a hook just means to hook someone. No, it's not actually hooking someone. It's actually telling them that, hey, I have something for you. There's a promise. So when you make a promise, we all know that breaking the promise is bad, in our daily life. So if you make the promise, that will be good. But if you break the promise, then that's something, very bad. So the first thing is authenticity and content. Focus on content that's, more connecting with the people. It can be stories or it can be educational content. It's not that only stories are the solution and nothing else is the solution, but story is a part of it. Educational content is a part of it. Like everything, all of them make a mix, and all of them make a puzzle. So when you collect all pieces of the puzzle, it makes, a good piece which can convert or influence or persuade people. So when I see the main problem with people joining newly on LinkedIn is that they blend in first, and then they write stuff which actually harms and breaks the trust instead of building. That can be hoax, that can be authenticity in content, that can be posting stuff which really looks like 100% AI generated. Um, so everyone better keep that, in mind.
That's right. So earlier you talked about the depth in content writing when it comes to LinkedIn. So is there any golden length that should be there for one post, or it can be how many words you want it to be?
So when it comes to the length of the post, it can be it can be very big. It can be, for example, as many words as LinkedIn allows you to write.
Yeah.
It can be just one sentence. There is no specific length in copywriting that you should use to convert someone, otherwise it won't work. No, it's not like that. You can write a long email, which is, for example, 10,000 or 15,000 words, and that will work better than an email which is a 500 lines. Or you can write a piece of content which is like just 100 words, which will work way better than an email which is 10,000 or 5,000 words long. What comes handy is being clear, being specific, and focusing on actually the benefits, not the features in your content, and connecting with your reader. So there is no certain amount of words or certain length. Even on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
write as much as you want, as much as you can, and as much as you think it works. Do your research, do your own imagination, do your own analysis, and based on all the statistics on your own guts, just write something that you think can connect with the reader and can do its job. Don't just limit yourself to a certain limit. Like, don't let anyone tell you that. It's not true, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as a writer, how do you actually get over the writer's block that a lot of people face nowadays?
I faced writer's block a lot when I was new. Actually, like about writing, it's wasn't that I didn't know writing, but I was actually I wanted to create more, and I didn't have much time. It was hard, it needed more time, and also, like, at that time I didn't know, like, to come up with good ideas, or when I would come up with ideas, they won't work. So the best way for writer's block, as I mentioned, is to go into the people's conversations, or ask people, yeah, if you have a newsletter, just create a poll and ask them, create a survey and ask their opinion. If you're on LinkedIn, just ask people question in the comments or in your post, and go to the comments and check the conversations, see what people like, what they don't like. You can go to, for example, Google. You can Google something, and when you Google something, you see the results, and then those results you see, like, which type of content worked better, which didn't work better, and that can be a very good inspiration for you, to think in terms of coming up with ideas. It can be like, there are literally a lot of ways to beat writer's block. Like, there is no limitation at this point. At this point, there is no limitation for writer's block. So the limitation is, it might be the limitation of writing a good copy or good content. But ideas are in abundance at this moment.
That's right. So this brings us at the end of the podcast. So can you give out any message to all the people who are watching, especially the new content creators on LinkedIn, of how they can improve their content writing?
I'll per se anyone to anyone listening, or watching, like, don't rely fully on LinkedIn. Don't limit yourself to followers on LinkedIn. That's just a number. Having a big number, yeah, that's authority, of course, but that's not the whole thing. Like, every platform, like, we have seen a lot of platforms which are now as going, doing as better as they were. For example, Facebook was in a hype once, and now there is nothing. People who have, like, millions of followers now are not, in a position where they can do as much as they could before. Uh, First thing, what I do, and what my advice to anyone is to build impact, build trust, not following, not a following. You can have 10,000 followers and have an impact more than someone who has, like, 100K followers. So what matters is impact. So if you have impact, uh, even if LinkedIn bans you, and if you go to another platform, for example, X, people will still trust you, people will still support you. It doesn't matter wherever you are, which platform you are, X, Substack, Blue Sky, or LinkedIn, anyone. But if it's about followers, and you'll be, like, so much vulnerable, like, you can lose that at any moment, and you can collapse at any moment. So what I do, and what I advise to others, is to build impact and build trust.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having you, Sami. Thank you
It
so
was my
much.
pleasure. Thank you so much.